Okay, so I just want to talk a little bit about self-doubt because it's it's something which is it's a common theme, it's a common challenge for women. And there is this idea that if women can just overcome self-doubt, then everything will be fine. It's almost like you just need to get out of your own way because though that's the blocker. And there is no doubt, there is no doubt that self-doubt is problematic for women in a way that it isn't for men. But you have to understand where that's coming from. There's a reason why we feel like that. And it's because of the society that we've grown up in. We've been exposed to certain messages of how we have to be accepted or to succeed. That's kind of drummed into us from an early age. And so it makes it really frightening to sort of step out of line. And that's quite often where self-doubt shows up. It's that space between being comfortable, doing what you know, and then the space that is uncomfortable, moving towards what you don't know. And the bit in the middle is called learning. So you start from here, you don't know stuff, and then you move towards wanting to know the stuff. And that bit in the middle is quite uncomfortable because it's it's sort of vulnerable, it's not where you want to be. But that is usually the space where self-doubt shows up because it's it's not certain, it's not secure, it's not stable. But you know, this is the thing with self-doubt. It comes up because of all of the things that we've been through, and it serves a purpose. It's there to try to keep us safe, to say, oh, hang on a minute, oh, I'm not sure about this. I don't know if I'm ready or if I can do it or whether this is right or if I'm going to fail. All these things that show up for because of those external factors, but also because of things that we've been through. This is what we've learned. I've mentioned this before. It's really a sort of survival technique. It's a survival mechanism. It comes up whether we like it or not, but we do have the ability to be aware of it. And I think this is a really crucial point because we're often made to feel like, oh, self-doubt's come up, oh, I don't want that, I just want to be brave and to get on with it. And I really, when I kind of observe this, I mean, I don't think I've ever worked with a client where this hasn't come up. When I observe this, it just makes me really aware of how there there's this sort of need to be the warrior, like to overcome, to feel like I don't want to identify with that. I don't want to be seen as having self-doubt. And it's that makes it more of a tension. It's kind of like, oh, that's wrong. Having self-doubt, that's wrong. I don't want to do that anymore. Whereas the alternative, if you're kind of having a bit more of a self-compassionate take, is to recognize where that's coming from. That's understandable that that's coming up for you. And you're not alone in it. It comes up for all of us. If we didn't have it, we'd be narcissistic psychopaths who never really did anything. We wouldn't be moving anywhere unless we were prepared to move through what's uncomfortable. People talk about getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. I don't kind of like that so much as perhaps getting used to being uncomfortable. I think you can get used to it in a way where when you do it, you can build up muscle memory from the decisions that you've made before. So it gives you your own kind of built in self assuredness around, okay, this feels uncomfortable, right? I'm a bit nervous in this. I'm not sure if it's going to work. I'm kind of having thoughts about, "Oh, what if I fail? What if this is embarrassing? What if I just mess everything up?" And you really kind of want to get a bit curious with it. It makes it a very different experience if you can just get curious about those thoughts, where they're coming from, how it's showing up, and kind of zoom out a bit and just think about it. Just kind of take it for what it is, rather than feeling that you've got to kind of push it down. Because we often think about things in terms of win or lose, pass or fail. And really, life isn't like that. I mean, we can look at things in a certain black and white way. And if we do that, that's natural. That's kind of how the world often works. But the reality is that progress isn't made by one single achievement. You might have a breakthrough, but really, progress is about making decisions each day which just nudge you outside of what you're comfortable with, because you've got to have a bit of discomfort in order to make progress. Otherwise, we're just doing the same thing all the time. So it's looking at it in terms of it's not all or nothing. I think that's the key thing. We're all, for women, we have this real fear of what if I completely embarrass myself and I let everybody down, and it's like it becomes catastrophized. But it's not one thing or another. It's more like, let's just kind of play with this a little bit. Let's get curious with it. Because if we can get into more of a creative space, it really sucks out the oxygen of anxiety. And I don't want it to feel like a kind of practice of, you know, squashing down or cancelling out anxiety or self doubt, because that's not really aligned with self compassion, because you're human and you have all these feelings, and you can also have more than one feeling, and you can have more than one trait at any given time. You can grow, you can change, but you can be comfortable with all of those parts. And I think, that's really the key to it. It's about having self awareness to recognize when this is happening, when it's coming up for you. And it can be really crippling. It can stop you from just even taking the first step towards following your dream or doing what you want to do, because we all have grown up in this societal framework of win or lose, do or die, this or that. And life isn't like that. It really isn't that straightforward. Anybody who has achieved any level of success will say that is a part, failure is a part of that. And also, it really comes down to how you're defining success. Because if you're defining success as kind of external, material, or getting acknowledgement or appreciation from external forces, then that will never be satisfied. That will never quite be enough. It's not really the point. The point is getting to the place of peace or contentment or happiness that you want. And once you do that, you can let go of all of the what ifs, or, am I going to get this wrong? Because you're in that space of creativity. And so it helps you to move forward and make progress in a way that is meaningful. And, when you break it down, I talk a lot about financial disempowerment of women, and it really is a huge issue, and I feel really strongly about it. But I also believe that for us as women, it's not our priority. We want to be able to take care of ourselves and our families. We want to have some form of security and comfort. But we don't want kind of huge levels of wealth or power. That's not where we're coming from. What we really want is to find some kind of peace, stability, meaning, rather than a kind of approach of never enough. And I think we need to kind of be real about what our ambitions are. Because I think very often when I'm talking to different women, it will be, I just want to be able to do the thing that I want, wherever that might be. I just want to be able to start my own business, or I just want to be able to work in this profession, or I just want to be able to enjoy time with my children. Those are the things that are the most important for all of us. But we need stability, we need some sense of security and reassurance. And the thing is that the kind of crux of this is that cannot come externally. It can't, because we have no control over that. And we have a very warped idea of what we can control. So, what we can control is this sense of stability within ourselves. And I think quite often it's this idea of it's something that we need to create or build or cultivate. And there is something to that. But I want to kind of get away from this idea of adding or taking away, because it plays into this idea of this or that. It's more like you have stability within you by building up your inner wisdom, and that's done by making good decisions that help you move forward. So then you can look back and go, right, yeah, this is difficult. Okay, I'm scared. If I'm honest, I don't know what's going to happen, but I can tell you that I have been through really difficult things before, and I felt similarly to how I'm feeling now. And I made it through. I can think about how I made it through. I can think about what those traits were, how I dug in, or how I approached it, and I can use that as my learning, because then I can step back and be objective about it. So I have the ability to assess. And I think that's really helpful, because when we're trying to look at self-doubt, I can tell you all day long that you just need to let go of it, and that you are capable, and that you have got a track record of doing well, and that you have got all of the tools. I can tell you that all day long, but you won't believe me. What I need you to do is to prove me wrong, because I know that you have got evidence that you can look at. Just think about it. Just consider what those things are. You have survived. You've got to this point. You are at a point in your journey, and there are decisions that you have made that have got you here. Just look around. Think about the things that you've achieved. Think about where you are. Are you, do you have a supportive network of friends? Do you have a community that you can rely on? Do you have, do you have a home that feels safe and secure? There are things that you have achieved which 20 years ago you would have thought, I can't really imagine that happening. Believe me, there are things that you will not have thought of, which your younger self would be amazed by that you've done. So just look, what I'm saying is, don't just kind of believe where I'm coming from or what I'm saying. Because I can say to you, I've worked with hundreds, if not thousands of women. I have, lived this for myself. I've done all the research. I know what I'm talking about. It won't make any difference. You need to go away and you need to test that hypothesis. Test the hypothesis that you can't do this based on how you got here, and comparing the skills that you've got already from what you've done to how you can apply them next. Prove me wrong. Prove to me that this isn't going to work, and that you have got a clear evidence base for why this isn't going to work. Because the reality is, you already have the skills and the stability. Every time you connect with your inner wisdom, that is usually the message that you will get back. When you're asking for something, when you're needing something, it will be, it's already here. You've already got it. I talked the other day about the video of the ICE intervention in the US, where it's a really heartbreaking scene where it was a mother being ripped away from her family by the immigration control unit, whatever they're called. And it was her neighbours, women, ordinary women, who got up and made a human chain around her so that she wouldn't be ripped from her family. Now, the worst happened and she was, but it just shows that people, women, are the ones who have that courage innately. We have that power innately. I can tell you, like, I could go on all day, but there are at least like 10 disaster situations that I can reel off to you right now where women have risked their own safety and got involved and made a difference. From terror attacks on the streets of London, where women are actually trying to engage with terrorists or talk them down, to when I had severe pregnancy sickness with my second son and I was on holiday and a lady bought me a sandwich and a bottle of water just to help me, to sort of say, here you go, that will help. We're doing it without thinking about it. You're checking on your elderly neighbour. That's female empowerment. You like not giving any more fucks from your bag of giving fucks. That's female empowerment. Not caring about what people think of you if you cry at work. That's female empowerment, as well as showing up and kicking butt every day of the week. You're already doing it. But don't listen to me. Go back and check the tape of all of the things that you have done already and how that stacks up to whatever dream it is that you want or that you've got in mind for what comes next. Okay, that's enough from me. I hope that's helpful. That was a long one, but it was good. I mean, I think we can all appreciate that you have a little assignment to do. So we'll leave it there and I will see you again tomorrow.